we involved in doing this.
We didn't know the business about publishing, copywriting our tunes. That was another thing altogether. So we were just happy to be able to get on stage and do our things under the lights and hear the girls screaming and get a few dollars. That was good enough for us. You know, that was heaven just about.
Most of the fellas were not getting paid. You know, they were having the hits, but the money wasn't forthcoming. The record company was keeping the money. Plus, every time you approached them, they would tell you, you owed them money for the session. You owed them money because they bought you a car. You owed them money because so. So consequently, we never got any money from the companies.
And they never realized that 20 years later, the singers never did, that those records would appreciate in value, and they had no recourse.
We lost a lot of money, but hey, that's basically our mistake, because we can blame it on somebody else because they didn't school us, but we didn't do it ourselves either. So, you know, you don't handle your own thing, it can be disastrous, which it was for us financially wise.
But it was an experience for me. It was like going to school. I'm not bitter with anybody. And it was the day of the riff-off. I mean, every act in the business, I imagine, that didn't really know his art was getting ripped off.
An answer to our sound, a place to sing in harmony, a place we almost found.
The vocal harmony era began to change when all music began to change, and that was with the British invasion. It began to be watered down with the so-called teen idols, and that was all political. You know, they wanted to, you had too many black groups, and we wanted to get a more homogenized sound and a homogenized look, so hence we had Fabian pull Dion out of the Belmonts, and Frankie Avalon, Bobby Darin. And so it did change. And then it had a resurgence in 1961. But it was short-lived, because by 1964, the Beatles hit the shores, and it was over. It was the change in the time. It was unfortunate for many of us who found nowhere to go, didn't have an audience anymore, didn't have record companies who were receptive to what we did best. It just changed.
I don't think it's nostalgia at all. For me, doo-wop music begins and ends with the music. They're wonderful songs created by some wonderful artists that will last as long as popular music lasts.
It always comes back in commercials, or you see it in programs on public television, or someone is always reconstituting some group whose members have long since passed away with 5 imposters. It seems to last, it seems to have a longevity all its own.
If young people today listen to this music, I think it's appealing to them. The music I play on a Sunday night is about love. I mean, you know, we've all been in love at least once, I hope. And it's something very personal.
I mean, you hear it in the music of the Beatles, you hear it in Boys to Men, and in Backstreet Boys, you hear that harmony.
The music was very simple, very basic, a departure from a more formalized form of pop music. You didn't have to spend 15 minutes to understand what a lyric was saying, but it got right to your heart very quickly.
And for some reason, it's a music that never seems to die.